So last night I had three interesting dreams. The first one was about my hamster. You are allowed to leave a hamster for about 5 days. Anything more than that, and it's not good for the hamster. But because the hamster that I have is just very antisocial and he's pretty much spends his whole time hiding or sleeping and you never see him, I think it would be fine to leave him for 7 days because he um he hates me, and he might not even notice that I'm missing. I put him by the fish tank though, so if he does feel a bit lonely, he can look out and see the fish, and not feel so alone. But yes, I am worried about him a bit, and I had a dream that he escaped out of the cage. I went home, he escaped out the cage, and then I went outside to just be like, oh, he's gone. And then there was this like this tiled mosaic little pond or something, um, and and um, and then I saw him like just crawling on the bottom of this like mini swimming pool. It's only shallow water, but yeah, I'm pretty sure Roborowskis don't swim underwater. But anyway, I saw him, or something that looked like him was like, is that him? And then I went to go and pick him out of the water. And he looked very scared of me and he hated me. And I was like, yeah, that might be him. I mean, I can't actually remember. And my dad was just like, that's not him. Put it back. We're not bringing that into the house. Don't bring that into the house. And but yes, I had a dream that I lost my hamster, but I found maybe a different one. But I don't know. And then I had a second dream that I was actually talking about the three angels that I found yesterday. So I'm still in Spain. This kind of proves that I can make angels anywhere. I would say that they are angels because they are picking up on exactly how I'm feeling. So it's like I've come across their songs and their songs seem to link to my day. So that's how, like, if I would have been okay, I'm always feeling anger, but at the same time, over the last few days, I feel like I've come up with a creative way of expressing my anger, which is to, at first, I'd want to set up some sort of test where I see who wants to hurt me, um, and then when I rise, I was thinking I'd love to just recreate a bunch of videos where I take a lot of songs, like things like Quarter Life Crisis, that they have different meanings. To her, quarter life crisis is talking about her being 25 and going through a sort of not midlife crisis but quarter life crisis because she's younger, so that's what her to me is. But whereas to me, I would say it's a quarter life crisis because I'd have a picture of a globe, and then I'd have a quarter of them are okay, three quarters of them are shit, and I want to die, and I want them to die and stuff. So I want to basically make a completely psychopathic. I want to make loads of psychopathic movies, music videos, where I retell everything that they're saying and say how I relate to them. Say, if there's a song about wanting my dreams to come true, I would have me dress up as the devil, being like, and then having like visions of like just loads of people dying and just everyone just me getting revenge for people rejecting me. And there's another one about how um sorry that you love me, saying change my mind. That's like I'd love to change that, where I have pictures of like preachers, or not preachers, worship people who worship God. When you go on Facebook, I've signed up to a bunch of religious groups, so when I go onto the homepage of Facebook, the whole thing is just pictures. Hands up if you love God. Say cheers. Say amen if you love God. Like this picture if you love God. So there's all these horrible pictures of all these people claiming to love God, and I'll just love to take all these pictures. Sorry that you love me. Like, where I take these pictures of people claiming that they love God when really they don't, because I absolutely despise them because I'm God. I need help. And if I try to tell these people that I'm God, they'll just be like, you just need to come to Jesus. That's all. You'll be fine if you just come to Jesus. It's like, no, that's not what happens. Jesus is actually my persecutor because he's the false Christ. And he's actually also represents humans. And humans are the ones that are putting me in this position. But yeah, so I'd love to do just so many psychopathic videos where I change their love and expose their hate. And yeah, so I've been channeling this over the last 24 hours, and I don't even know how I came across this girl, Death by Ronnie, or Romy. I have no idea who she is. I think I once, maybe one or two of her videos are things that I clicked on in my random searches over the last summer. But I clicked on a lot of videos. So but yeah, I didn't think she had an angel name. But um, because I feel like how her videos are, I feel like because I've been actually channeling this kind of I want to kill everyone kind of mood, I would describe her to be an angel because I would feel like her songs are actually linking quite strongly to how I feel over the last few days. And the thing about my sister's social, my mum, I'm with my mum right now. I haven't seen her for months. Um, and she is winding me up, massively winding me up because she's talking about Leo, this baby that I haven't seen since he was born. Basically, there was 1 week where it was obvious to me that Sophie was going to fail the test. It wasn't obvious in the first day, or in the second day, but by the fourth or fifth day, it was like, yeah, she isn't going to pass. And my mom is winding me up all the time. Today I saw her, she was showing, there was this 2-year-old and she was like, look, I've got a baby too. So she was taking up, she spent about 5 minutes flicking through her phone trying to find the pictures of this baby rather than just go to the big, the screen where you can see all the pictures. She was just going like that ages because she doesn't know how to use her phone. She's an idiot. But yeah, she spent ages trying to get to the pictures. And then when she got to the pictures of the baby, like, I have a baby too. Really, it's a baby that's actually in foster care, so she doesn't have a baby. Oh, and she was like, he's Portuguese. He's Portuguese. I'm like, he's not Portuguese. He's Sophie's baby. Sophie's English. Okay, he's half Portuguese. She's just bizarre, so mad. And this one was like, oh, we're from Portugal too. And yeah, and she was just going, I don't know, her conversations are just, I feel cringe listening to my mom. Like, she's so batty. And it's so frustrating that she got a 12-week assessment where every week she got to meet up with a very expensive sort of counsellor woman who would assess whether or not she can look after a child. Her house is a mess. Her mental state is completely gone. She's got no ability to focus on her child. She does really strange things like say, I've got a Portuguese baby. Look, this is my Portuguese baby, even though it's actually a child that's in foster care and that she can only see once every 2 weeks. And it's not a Portuguese baby, it's her daughter's child, and her daughter isn't Portuguese, he's half Portuguese. Just everything she does winds me up. And then I looked at this phone, this picture of my sister, and my sister was just like, so she had the baby in her hand and she was just like, every single picture was my sister looking miserable as hell, like seriously. And it's just like, yeah, that's the Sophie that I remember. Just seeing her with this brand new baby in hospital that has just been born, and her just looking miserable, like she's just bored and wants to walk away. That is the Sophie that I remember. And to think that Sophie was put in a program that would have lasted for maybe 6 months or something, 3 to 6 months, a program that had 14 staff members, a very expensive house, huge amount of money would have gone into this to see whether Sophie can look after a baby. For me, it was obvious by the 5th day that she was going to fail this test because she's autistic. She's got very, very little emotion. She seemed very bored. She had no ability to judge safely. This isn't about my sister, but it was obvious she was going to fail the test. And yet, the social services were still happy to put Sophie in this test, a test that would have taken huge amount, thousands of pounds worth of taxpayers' money. And they were happy to give my mum, even though she's batty as hell, they were happy to give her a 12-week program where every week she gets assessed for an hour. This has got nothing to do with looking after a child. This has got everything to do with social services trying to get money off the government to try and fund things like this. That is what it is. It's everything to do with money. And seeing these pictures, having my mum just being around my mum reminds me of how batty she is. And then it just brought back all these memories. I'm trying to suppress my feelings towards losing access to this kid based on a 1 hour report where someone wrote a bunch of shit about me. I wrote a 12-page report listing all the things that is not true. She said that I was only interested in the child because of my mum, because it was fulfilling the interest of my family. Everything on it, I can't remember other stuff on it, but everything was not true. I'm seemingly interested. seemingly interested. I am interested. Why would you say I'm seemingly interested? I had the room prepared. I had everything. I'm so furious. But I kind of suppressed it because I was just like, okay, I'm going to get on to Big Brother soon. This tribulation that I'm going through is going to end soon. Maybe people have gone behind their back and paid them to keep the child away from me. You know, I feel like Big Brother deliberately put Miss Universe, that Miss Universe person on there to piss me off, to anger me, to frustrate me. Maybe because they want me to be frustrated because they know that I'm more powerful when I'm like that. Yes, I am more powerful like that, but I'm also the devil. So you don't really want me to be more powerful and you don't really want to be more psychopathic. But yes, over the time you have made me feel like this. And I feel like I've come across this other girl who's someone I've never watched before. Mothika. I don't know. I think I had clicked on one of her songs before. There's this one where she sat on a hospital chair. I think I've clicked on that song before, but it didn't really say much. It was just, you know, I'm nocturnal. What that doesn't mean anything, but you know, with all her songs, I feel like I had a dream basically where I was talking about this girl, and it was almost like I wanted to do it before I fell asleep, but because my parents were in the room, it was just like, you know, I should wait until they've gone before talking about this girl. So that's why I'm doing it now. But yes, that was my second dream where I was talking about her, but I'm actually talking about her now. But yeah, so I feel like this girl is an angel just because I have been suppressing my feelings about Leo and the social services and how I feel that they're just a money-making scam. You know, that they were happy to give my mum a test because they made money from it, even though they knew she was probably going to fail because she's batty as hell. And I think you've got to be incredibly stupid not to see that she is not capable of looking after a baby under the age of 3. You know, can't focus, can't stay with the picture, can't see my sister's ability. You know, my sister's sat there with the baby looking absolutely miserable. I know my mum's very mad, so I can imagine her just spending the whole hour just taking pictures and being, oh, let's take a picture. And I can understand my sister just sitting back there getting more and more frustrated with the fact that her mum is just, you know, not interested in the baby, not showing any interest in the baby, but rather just happy to take pictures so that she can show people, look, I've got a baby too, look at all the pictures, even though I wasn't even interested in the child. You know, I can imagine my sister feeling that way, hence feeling even more miserable when my mum's around. But yeah, my sister looks miserable in the pictures, and my mum clearly has no ability to recognize this. You know, oh, I can't understand why they'll take the child away. I mean, Sophie's sitting there with a baby looking incredibly like she just wants to go off and leave the child. You know, she's looking terribly awful. My mum doesn't notice this, that's because she's too mad. But yes, they were happy to give her a 12-week test. They're happy to give my sister a 3 to 6 month program. And they weren't willing to give me anything but a 1-hour test that is full of lies. And then I went to court. Oh, they can make money off the court. Oh yeah, we're having a court case. Oh, don't worry, you're allowed to have a court case. We're going to set up a court case. Oh, and in this court case, I felt like I was, you know, doing fine. The social services didn't seem like they were against me. Nothing was against me. And then during the middle, right at the end, he went to go and read something. Didn't say anything. And then afterwards, he just basically said, no, you can't have it, and assumed that I know the reason why, even though all he did was just shut up. And so basically that whole court thing was about making money. The judge would have got paid money. I don't know who else was involved in setting up that court, but there would have been a lot of money in that court case. There would have been a lot of money in testing my mum to see if she's not batty. You know, she might not actually be batty. You know, you mean only a smart person would be able to tell that she's completely off her head. But no, the social services, they don't know if she's batty or not, so they're going to have to spend someone to, you know, do this assessment test, this 12-week test, making money. Sophie, oh, she's a mother. She needs to have a 3 to 6 month making money. There are 14 staff members in an expensive house. We need money to run this house, electrics and food and well, I think she paid for her own food, but the staffing probably would have gone, I don't know. It's all about money. But oh, the auntie who's actually the god of this world, who's actually very sane, who actually has a house prepared, you know, she gets nothing. Why? Because she is going to take the child, look after the child, and not expect social services to make money off the baby. And I feel like that to me is evidence. Oh, and of course, to add extra kick to this whole thing is that you're not allowed to talk about what goes on in the courts, because we're talking about a child. You're not allowed to go to the courts. You're not allowed to go to the public. You're not allowed to go to the press. Why? Because you're talking about a baby, and this is a baby's risk. We're talking about a baby in risk here. We're not talking about hundreds of people wanting to make money off a baby. No, we're talking about a baby at risk, and therefore I'm the bad one, when really you're the bad ones, because you're the ones who are making money off stealing kids off people that can actually look after children. We've got my sister's having another child. She might lose this child. The father of this new child has a wife who's got 3 kids, and she actually wants a child. But she doesn't want to get involved in this. Why? Because she doesn't want a 12-week assessment. Who would want a 12-week assessment? She's got 3 kids to look after. She's got a job. She's got a lot of things to worry about. She doesn't have time for a 12-week assessment. She doesn't have time to have strangers come into her house and judge her on everything that she does. She doesn't have time to be made to feel like a criminal because of wanting to look after a child. But social services love people that they can make money off, and they're going to threaten and bully and intimidate people until they get what they want, which is money to fund foster care or whatever they're doing, because that child is in danger. I think the child is in danger from the social workers who are just using it as a money-making scam. I mean, that's how I feel. Really feel like this is a lot of things I wanted to say, but I've suppressed it for such a long time because I was convinced that in September people were going to help me. I was going to go on TV. I was going to, put some sort of test in the world to see who else thinks that I'm not capable of looking after one baby. And you know what? That didn't happen. That didn't happen. I didn't get on Big Brother. I didn't get on TV. I'm still being ignored. And for all I know, I might be ignored for another 10 years. And therefore, this anger that I was suppressing, I can't express any longer. And then I've come across this Mothia. I don't know if I even say the name. Mothia girl, and I feel the same feelings that I have of over suppressing as it came out in that one particular song. There's one particular song that sounds like it's talking to social workers, and it's also about the baby. There's a mention of a baby in there, and I was just like, I don't know what baby she's talking about, but I know what baby I'm talking about. I would love to do a music video to this where I actually show a picture of the baby that I am talking about, and I actually show pictures of the social workers and actually say, oh, my sister who's batty as hell and looks like she hates the child in all the pictures that I have of her, or looks like the child's got some, his hand is like that in one picture. And some of the baby pictures that I have is just like, oh my God, she's not paying attention to what she's doing. And whatever. But yeah, she gets loads of money spent on her to see if she can look after a child, even though it's obvious that she can't do it. Oh, and my mum as well, she gets lots of money spent on her to see if she can look after it. But me, of course I can look after a child. But I'm not going to get, I think, nothing. Why? Because I'm going to take the child away from being in foster care. And you can't make money if the child's not in foster care. So, yeah, I'm very, very furious at this. And I don't know, but I feel like there's a lot of anger. And she also had one song about, her committing suicide and ending up in hospital because of wanting to commit suicide. And even though it's not anger, I feel like in a way it is. Because I feel like part of her thinks that she shouldn't have felt this way back then. But you know what? Part of me doesn't believe that. Part of me thinks that the same anger that she had when she was 15 of wanting to die, it's not gone away. This need to die, I'm not convinced that it's gone away. I feel like she's suppressing that anger, and she's trying to like she's got anger and she's got emotion, and there's a lot of dark and a lot of emotion in her songs. But she also says in a very blank toned way, like I'm holding it back, like I'm going to keep myself maintained, like I don't want people to see how angry I am, and so I feel like a lot of her songs are just suppressing her feelings, and I relate a lot to that right now, because that's exactly how I feel. What I've been doing with the social workers, and yeah, but yeah, of course, sometimes when you suppress things, it just explodes when you finally let it out. And I want to go home now. I've got another 2 days of being in Spain, and I just want to go home so I can make. Okay, I'm on a budget, but there's loads of songs that I would love to make a music video to. So I could just pick out some of the ones, and because there's a whole bunch of new singers that I've been following this summer. I think now that the music industry isn't just focusing on the very rich and the very top, I feel like they're focusing more energy on the ones that are the average people that are further down, and yeah, I feel like there's a whole bunch of songs that I would like to play with. I'm pretty pissed off with the ones that were famous back in 2013, 14, 15. I don't know what they know about me or if they know about me, but to do everything they've done, knowing that I was going to be ignored for 10, 11 years, I have a huge amount of hatred for them over this. And therefore I wouldn't want to touch their songs. I wouldn't want to give them any more fame than they've already had. But with the newer ones, I don't feel like they've hurt me, even if they have been doing songs for 10 years. If I haven't been following them, then I don't know what their past is, and I don't feel hurt by them. And I don't know why I haven't found them until now. Actually, some of these songs say that they were done 4 or 5 years ago. Is that the truth? Or I don't know, because when I watch these songs, it feels like they were done yesterday, or they've seen what I've been going through in the last few months and have done something based on that. But then anyway, this video is getting a bit long, so I will do a part 2.